You're working with a lot of Shopify brands, you work with Klaviyo, you have all these integrations. Do you also work with agencies? And what is the difference? Is there any difference with working with the brand directly and with the agency?
Our market approach has been to go directly to brands. That's what we've been doing for the past year, and that's been really successful to work with brands and help them, get everything they need to be optimized, to personalize their flows and graphics and so forth. Over the past year or so of doing that, what we've seen is that we've got a lot of agencies using the tool too. Sometimes on behalf of a brand they're working with, sometimes on behalf of all the brands that they're working with. And so we've started to become a lot more intentional about how we want to work with agencies and what that value proposition looks like. And so I've talked to a bunch of agencies myself over the past few weeks, just kind of doing user interviews, right? Same thing that you
Yeah.
described. And what I've seen is that there's some meaningful ways that Grid and Pixel can help them. So the first is in their client presentation, it allows them to emphasize speed, right? One of the big things is time to value. Once that
Absolutely.
retainer is paid and the contract is signed, how quickly can the agency get the brand live? And that's where Grid and Pixel can really help because we are using a lot of software and API integrations to enable these integrations. And that just means we can do them quicker because it's all templatized, it's all tied into AI, it's all tied into the APIs available from Shopify and Klaviyo, such that it can be provisioned in the account very, very quickly. And that makes a big difference because once those emails are approved by the client and turned live, they start sending immediately and they start converting immediately. Another aspect that's been pretty helpful is we go to great extents to allow brands and agencies to preview what their creatives could look like on social media as carousels and emails and SMS before they actually install the app or subscribe or begin working with Grid and Pixel. And people really appreciate that because it gets them a sense of what the campaign could look like, how creative could it be, how are things going to fit together by really seeing and touching and interacting with those creatives. And so we can also allow the agency to take advantage of that too, right? And so we provide creative briefs to agencies all the time now, whether it's with a client they're already working with or one that they want to work with, so that they can go into that pitch meeting with a bunch of samples, right? Without spending, big real designer resource on it. They can just go in
Yeah.
and show them some ideas. It's like a proof book, right? To try to zoom in on what the agency cares about and what is important to them so that once that deal is signed, they can get the things live quicker. I've found that Grid and Pixel works best with small agencies. It's just a really great fit for solopreneurs, agencies under 5 to 10 people who are working with a bunch of clients and want to work with more clients because Grid and Pixel allows them to scale their creative services over more client accounts without hiring more people, right? And so as an agency,
That's
keeping your
great.
costs under control is like super important part of it. And so this allows them to, take on more brands, charge higher retainers, wrap services around not only Klaviyo, but Klaviyo and Grid and Pixel together, which is, a key to really helping them help the client get the results that they're looking for.